Good morning, and question of the day, predator control. What do you do for it?
If you live in wolf country, or what is soon going to be wolf country, and I'm going to tell you just from our experience, is that the wolves will be there 10 years before any officials admit that they're there. So if you anticipate having wolves sometime in the future, you need to start incorporating livestock guarding animals into your herd now, whether it be sheep, goats, or cattle. They work for all of them. The only two things I've seen work are livestock guardian dogs that are bred for the purpose, and I do know of one guy in Minnesota in the thick of wolf country who's doing pretty good with mammoth jacks. But I'm not going to lie, it takes more than just throwing dogs at the problem. In 1999, I got hit really hard where we had a pack of 23 wolves, and if that sounds impossible, it's in a book called The Wolves of Minnesota, around page 51 or something like that, on pack size in Minnesota. And there was a pack of 23 documented about 10 miles west of us, and that pack somehow got across the interstate. I know how they did. I saw the tracks. They crossed in a creek crossing under the interstate that a person could just about walk under. So there's ways for wolves to get across the interstates. Anyway, they arrived here in February of '99, and I completely missed the signs. I heard so many wolves howling across the swamp that I dismissed it and I did not believe it was wild wolves. I didn't think there could be that many in one place, but there were, and I ignored that warning. And a while later, we started lambing, and we just were decimated. So I had a rapid learning curve, and what that learning curve was is I needed to consolidate my sheep into a smaller area and put all the dogs together with those sheep to make the dogs be more effective in protecting the sheep. That was actually my introduction to regenerative agriculture, or livestock grazing actually initially, and then that kind of got me into seeing what those benefits were and learning more about regenerative agriculture. But by combining all my sheep together inside the only 4 rolls of electronet that I had, because until then I was using strand fencing, and yes, wolves will zip right through electric strand fencing. That doesn't stop them. But I combined all the sheep together with the 4 dogs that I had, put them inside those four rolls of net, and that actually stopped the depredation overnight. And I had lost 75 lambs in just 10 days, and we stopped it cold. So there is a lot that can be done if you think about what the dogs need, which is they can't be running over hundreds of acres chasing off packs of wolves. That's not going to work. They need a relatively small area to work in so that they can do their job. Now this, of course, took a lot more time on my part, moving fence every day. And there's no doubt about it, it's a lot more labor. However, the payoff is that I now have 2.5 times more grass, or I have a capacity of 2.5 times more animals than I used to. And it took a few years to figure that out. I think I started this in '99. In 2006 we had a severe drought, and I had grass when nobody else did. And it was simply because of our livestock grazing methods that we had been using in long rest periods that were a consequence or caused by trying to manage our wolf problem. So if you think you're going to be dealing with wolves, get some livestock guard dogs started soon. Consider consolidating your animals into smaller parcels of land so that your dogs can work more effectively. And the third thing is do have a refuge or a place you can go to in the event of attack. One of the things I've learned time after time is that wolves take in very large amounts of territory, and they won't stay in a place for very long if they're not getting anything to eat. And so for us, it's typically a week. Sometimes, like, we just had some wolves visit last month, and they stuck around for about 11 days. Turns out there was a deer carcass on the road. That's probably part of what was keeping them here. But they did harass our sheep during that time, and so seeing what was going on, I consolidated the sheep and dogs into one group, and as soon as they did that, I don't think they stayed more than 2 more days, and they were gone. But if I had to, I do have a pen set up it's 5 foot high, and I can put all my livestock in there with all the dogs, and it's a pretty wolf resistant. Nothing's wolf proof, but it's wolf resistant, and it's close enough where I can hear the commotion if something's going on out there. So get your livestock guarding animals started. Start thinking about consolidating your animals and build yourself some kind of refuge to put your animals in the event of a big pack visiting.